Hello students. Now today we are going to talk about the next topic of the same chapter, adolescence, puberty and hormones. Okay. So now next topic will be about the glands, the endocrine glands, the exocrine glands. We won't be talking much about exocrine glands, but definitely we'll be talking about endocrine glands. We will also be discussing about the hormones and few of the important endocrine glands. Okay. So to begin with, first of all, what is the meaning of glands? Okay, what is the meaning of glands? What is this and what is the meaning of glands? See, gland is nothing, just made up of what? As the other organs are made up of, the glands are also made up of cells and tissues. Okay, glands are also made up of cells and tissue. But here one important thing is there, children, that the structure which is made up of cells and tissue, they have an important function. And what is that function? They secrete a product. They secrete a product, and this product is secreted in different places, in different they have different activities, they have different functions. Okay. So first of all, what is the meaning of gland? What is gland? Gland is nothing, just it is also made up of like cells and tissues like the other organs, and it secretes certain products. Okay. So this is the meaning of the gland. So let me write this, that it is glands are made up of cells and tissues. Okay, they are made up of cells and tissues and secretes some products. Okay. So what is the meaning of gland, children? Nothing, just in how the other organs are made. It is also, these glands are also made up of cells and tissues, but one important part is that they secrete something. Okay, something is secreted by them. Now, the glands can be divided into two categories. Okay, the glands can be divided into two categories. So we'll be talking about this. First is exocrine. Okay, the first one is exocrine glands. Okay, and the second one is endocrine glands. Okay, the second one is endocrine gland. Now, first of all, we need to understand what is the meaning of exocrine gland, and then we will talk about endocrine glands. So, what is the meaning of exocrine gland, children? Now, we all know what are glands. They must be secreting something, isn't it? So, those glands, okay, one typical difference between the two glands, okay, that the glands which secrete their product into certain tubes, okay, those glands which secrete their products into certain tubes are known as exocrine glands, okay. So what is the meaning of exocrine glands? That means those glands which definitely they are going to secrete, but this product is secreted through a tube. Okay, like it will come through the tube. So let me write about the exocrine. Those glands which secretes their products into the ducts. Okay, when we will discuss about the endocrine gland, so at that time you will be able to understand both the glands very properly. Okay, so first of all, exocrine gland, children, those glands which secrete their products into a certain tube. Okay, now take the example, children. For example, salivary glands. Okay, for example, salivary glands secrete their products. Their product means what does they secrete, children? Saliva through a duct which is called as salivary duct. Okay, which is called as salivary duct. See, what we are talking about, children, we are discussing about the glands. Now, what is the meaning of gland? It is also sort of an organ which is made up of cells and tissues. Okay, now these glands have, like when we say like this is a gland, so the special characteristic of a gland is that it will secrete some products, it will give rise to some products. Okay, now when we talk about the glands, we can divide the glands into two categories, exocrine glands and the endocrine glands. How can we divide the glands into two? We can divide the glands into two by like what? It can be on the basis of the duct which is present and in which in the one where it is absent. So, the first division is exocrine gland. Now, what is the meaning of exocrine gland? Those glands which secrete their product through the what? Tube, which is known as which is known as what? Duct. Okay. So, here salivary glands, I have taken the example as salivary glands. Now, salivary glands are going to secrete what, children? Obviously, salivary glands are going to secrete saliva. Now, this saliva is secreted by a salivary gland, but through what it comes to the target place, children? It comes through the duct which is known as, it comes through a duct which is known as salivary duct. See, salivary glands are present near somewhat, throat and ear. Okay, salivary glands are present somewhat near throat and ear. Now, these glands have small ducts. They have ducts which has opening into the mouth. We all have saliva in our mouth. So, the glands, salivary glands are not present over here. They are present somewhat near the throat and the ear. From there, the ducts arises and these ducts have opening inside our mouth. Okay, so a very simple thing, children, that if a tap is there and we have to give water, we have to water the garden. Okay, so the tap, what we'll be doing? We'll be attaching one pipe and that pipe will be reaching till the garden and then we'll be watering the plants. So in the same way, salivary gland is there. Okay, salivary glands are there. It has got a pipe. Through this pipe, the saliva reaches to the mouth. Okay, now this pipe has to be given some name. So this small thin pipe is known as what? Salivary duct. Okay. So the main thing which has to be understood over here is, children, that these glands, exocrine glands, these kind of glands, what they do? They secrete their product, they secrete their juices in the duct. This is a point which is very important to remember. Okay. Now we will talk about second characteristic. Okay, we will talk about second characteristic which is endocrine. I said we will talk about second characteristic, means we will be talking about the second kind of a gland. Okay, so it is endocrine gland. Okay, it is what? Endocrine glands, or S is not there, so it's better to put S. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of endocrine gland, children? Now, when I'm emphasizing over here again on one point, that they secrete their product into duct. Okay, so where they are going to secrete their product? These are the glands which secrete their product without ducts. Then how and where it is going to go? These glands, they secrete their product directly into the blood. Okay, so these are known as endocrine glands. Now, as these glands do not have ducts, okay, these glands do not have duct because it do not secrete their secretion into duct, so they are also known as ductless glands. Okay, so what I'll be writing now? I am writing the definition of endocrine glands. What is the meaning of endocrine gland, children? Those glands which secrete their products, okay, which secrete their product where directly into the blood and not into the duct. See, we'll read this. What are glands? Glands are made up of cells and tissues and secrete some product. So whether it is an endocrine gland, okay, or exocrine gland, whether it is an endocrine gland or it is an exocrine gland, both will secrete. But the basic difference is, the biggest difference is that exocrine glands are those glands which secretes their product into tube. That means, which example I gave, they will secrete, they have a pipe. Through the pipe, it will reach to the particular place where it has to be. Okay, now endocrine glands do not secrete their product into the glands. Then how these reaches to the target place? These chemicals, these products reaches directly. How? Through the blood. Now we'll talk more about that. First of all, I will write the definition of endocrine glands. So, those glands which do not secrete their products into the ducts. Okay, those glands which secrete their product without the ducts. Okay, so we do not secrete their products into the duct, then where do they release? Okay, they release it directly into the blood. So where it is going? It is released directly into the blood. Now what is the blood will? Now what else it is known as, children? As these glands do not have ducts, so these glands are also known as what? They do not have ducts, so they are known as ductless gland. As these glands do not have ducts, so they are also known as ductless glands. Okay, so as they do not have ducts, the product is not secreted into the duct, and so these are also known as ductless gland. And where they are secreting this product, children? They are secreting this product directly into the blood. Now what the blood does? What is the blood doing now? So my circulatory system, or even the blood is a part of the circulatory system, isn't it? So then with the flow of the blood, or we can say due to the circulatory system or by the circulatory system, this product, okay, these product reaches to the different organs. Okay, now very important point. I'm saying they release product. So the chemicals which is secreted by endocrine glands are known as hormones. Okay, the products or chemicals which is, I'm not able to write here, which is secreted by endocrine. Please pay attention, endocrine I'm writing. Those products or chemicals which is secreted by endocrine glands are called as hormones. Are called as what, children? Are called as hormones. So the chemicals which is secreted by endocrine glands are known as what? Hormones. Okay. Now we'll just have a gist of this and then we will proceed. We'll talk more about the endocrine glands and we will talk more about the hormones. Okay. So first of all, children, what we are talking about? We are talking about the glands. Now what is the meaning of gland? Gland is, as all the other part of the body are made up of. They are made up of what? Cells and tissues. In the similar way, even the glands are made up of cells and tissues. Now these glands, when can we say that this particular thing is gland? Because they secrete certain juices. Okay, so the glands are made up of cells and tissues and they secrete certain products. Okay, now these glands can be divided into two categories, endocrine glands and exocrine glands. First of all, we will talk about exocrine glands. Exocrine glands are those glands, children, in which pipes are there. Always remember, exocrine glands are those glands where what is there? Pipes are there. That means those glands which secrete their products into the ducts. Those glands which secrete their products into the small pipes. Okay. Now these pipes, then the names are given to these pipes. Now here I have taken the example of the salivary gland. Salivary gland is a gland which is which kind of a gland? It is an exocrine gland. Why I am telling that this is an exocrine gland, children? Because this salivary gland secretes saliva. Obviously salivary gland is going to secrete saliva. So these salivary glands secrete saliva which comes through a duct. Now this duct is known as salivary duct. These ducts are known as salivary ducts which opens into the mouth under the tongue. Okay, which opens into the mouth, and here in the mouth we have saliva. But the glands are where somewhere else, but it is coming with the help of what? Pipes, the ducts. Okay, now this was about the exocrine gland. Now what is the meaning of endocrine gland, children? Endocrine glands are those glands which secrete their products directly into the blood. These glands do not have any kind of ducts. These glands do not have any kind of pipes. These glands do not secrete, okay, they do not secrete their products into any kind of duct. Okay, so they are known as endocrine glands. Where they are secreting directly into the blood. Now it's the blood which takes these chemicals to the different body parts. Okay, now very special thing about the endocrine glands I can say is these are the glands. Okay, these are the ones which produces hormones. Okay, what are hormones? The chemical which is produced by the endocrine glands. Okay, that means one thing is very clear, children, hormones are not, okay, hormones do not reach to the particular organ with the help of the duct. Okay, always remember, We can talk in two ways, like endocrine glands secrete something, that secretion, that chemical, that product is known as what? Hormones. Now, I can say it vice versa. What are hormones? These are the chemical substance which are secreted by the what? Endocrine glands. Okay. So, these glands are responsible for secreting various kind of hormones. Now, how many kind of endocrine glands does our body have? Our body has got many endocrine glands. Okay, our body has got many endocrine glands. We'll be discussing about that, but before discussing about the endocrine glands, we'll talk little about the hormones. Okay, we'll discuss little about the hormones. So please note this, I'll just clean the board and just will discuss about the hormones.